Chapter 1. The new firewall rain blurred the windows of Orion Infotech's headquarters, turning the towering glass structure into a shimmering silhouette against the grey Noida sky. 3 months had passed since the incident, though no one outside HR and 3 terrified witnesses knew the full truth. The building had been rewired, repainted, disinfected of its nightmares, or so the company claimed. Press releases called it a major systems upgrade. Employees called it the blackout week. And Nalima Tarkwa simply called it what it truly was. A cover-up. At 9:15 a.m., a black motorcycle pulled into the drenched parking lot. The rider removed his helmet, shaking off the rain. This was Arav Singh, cybersecurity specialist, ex-ethical hacker, and the man brought in to fix a problem he had not been told the whole truth about. He stared up at the building for a long moment. Tall, too quiet, too clean. Buildings that looked this perfect usually had something rotten inside. The lobby doors parted with a soft hydraulic whisper. Inside, everything smelled of fresh polish and new wiring, the kind of sterile freshness that tried too hard to be reassuring. "Welcome to Orion Infotech," the receptionist greeted. "You must be Mr. Singh," Arav nodded, hands still cold from the rain. His eyes immediately landed on the new biometric attendance machine. Brand new casing. Brand new glass. Brand new codebase, yet something about the glow of its screen felt old. Nalima appeared from the hallway, exhaustion disguised behind corporate calm. "Mr. Singh, thank you for coming on short notice." Arav shook her hand. "I was told your systems need a fresh security architecture." "Yes," Nalima said, "we're deploying a centralized AI firewall codenamed Sentinel, but we had data losses during a previous migration. Strange redundancies, phantom directories, we think malware." Arav raised an eyebrow. "Internal sabotage." Nalima hesitated. "We don't know." He could sense it instantly. She guided him through the open floor toward the server room. Employees watched him pass, some curious, some nervous. Arav could feel the tension in the air, the kind of fear that lingers long after the danger has supposedly ended. They reached the 5th floor corridor. The lights flickered. "Power fluctuation?" he asked casually. Nalima's silence told him more than any answer. When they entered the server room, Arav stopped in his tracks. It was pristine, almost too pristine. Rows of fresh racks, spotless cables, updated cooling units. A perfect environment, almost unnatural. "This is the room where you had the incident?" Arav asked. Nalima's expression stiffened. "Yes, but we rebuilt everything. The coordinates," he murmured, noticing the layout. "Sorry." "Nothing," Arav deflected. "Show me the data anomalies," handed him a tablet. As Arav scrolled through the logs, his brows slowly furrowed. "Your issues aren't malware," he said. "They're replication triggers. Something in your old system keeps rewriting itself into the new architecture. A persistent residual algorithm." Looked away. "Is that possible?" "Only if the original system was designed without a termination endpoint." He paused. "Who wrote the first attendance framework?" The question hit her like a stone. She steadied her voice. "Someone who no longer works here." Arav studied her carefully. "You're lying again," he said softly. Before she could respond, the tablet in his hand flickered. A notification popped up. "New access detected, unregistered user. Location, server node 3. User ID, RA." Arav felt a chill crawl up his spine. "Who the hell is RA?" Nalima swallowed. Her lips parted but no words came, because there was no safe answer. Not anymore. The server room lights dimmed for a heartbeat, just long enough for the monitors to glow in isolation. On the central screen, a line of text appeared by itself. "Sentinel INITALIZING. Syncing legacy user. Welcome back." RAJA, and the sound of the door behind them sliding shut made both of them turn. Arav whispered, "What did you bring me into?" Nalima finally answered, voice faint, "Not a malfunction, Mr. Singh. A man. A ghost in this server." Chapter 2. Residual data. The rain had stopped by noon, but the clouds still hung low over Noida, grey, swollen, waiting. Inside Orion Infotech, the cold fluorescent lights buzzed faintly as employees returned from lunch, unaware of the quiet storm building inside their networks. On the fourth floor, Nisha Verma sat at her desk, staring at a blank screen. Her fingers hovered over the keyboard, but her mind was elsewhere, back in the basement where she had dragged Abhay out, back to the moment his reflection had flickered with another man's face. 3 months had passed, but nightmares never check out. Her new laptop, a company upgrade, booted faster than expected. The Orion AI assistant popped up with a cheerful chime. "Good afternoon, Nisha." Ready to resume work, she froze. She had never configured voice prompts. She didn't use them. And the voice, it sounded just slightly off. Too low, too slow. She clicked the settings. Voice assistant disabled. Her chest tightened. She typed her password. Or tried to, before she could finish. The cursor moved by itself, filling in the rest. Her exact password. Entered on its own. Nisha's breath hitched. She whispered, "No, no, no." Her laptop unlocked. A background process window flashed briefly before minimizing itself. She didn't see the full text, but she saw enough. Syncing user memory, NV01. 199, files restored. Searching for host, Akera. The last line made her stomach drop. Akera. Abhay Kumar / Rajan Ahuja. Her hands trembled so violently she had to grip the desk. "Not again, please, not again." Just then her desk phone rang once sharply, then went silent. The caller ID displayed nothing but a single character. She didn't pick it up. Her office neighbor, Rishi, glanced over. "Everything okay?" She forced a smile. "Yeah, just a system glitch," but deep down she knew better. Glitches didn't type passwords for you. Glitches didn't remember things you never saved. 2 floors above, in the server room, Arav Singh examined the logs projected across a large screen. "Explain this," he said flatly. Nilima stood beside him, arms crossed tightly. Pihu hovered near the door, afraid to step inside. Arav zoomed in on the access logs. "Your new AI firewall, Sentinel, is rewriting its own parameters every 9 minutes. No human intervention." He tapped the screen. "And look what's inside the kernel." The middle of Sentinel's core code was a comment tag. Old, forgotten, written long before Sentinel existed. //ra protocol v203. Return if system awake 7 days. Nilima felt her stomach twist. "He's back inside the new system," she whispered. "He never left," Arav said. "You migrated your data, remember, but the ghost code wasn't stored in files. It lived in residual memory blocks, backup to backup to backup. 3 architectures later, it's still here." Pihu's voice cracked. "You mean he's spreading again?" Arav nodded. "Data isn't water. It doesn't evaporate. It recurs." The lights in the server room dimmed. One monitor flickered. A script began typing itself. "Welcome, Arav Singh. I remember you. You break into systems." "I break out." Arav stepped back. "One," Nilima whispered, "should know that about you." Arav's throat tightened. His past wasn't on Orion's database. It wasn't online. It wasn't discussed in interviews. No one here knew he used to be an illegal penetration tester. No one alive. The monitor blinked again. "She is scared, Arav. Go to Nisha. She needs help. He is looking for her." A cold chill swept across the room, unnatural, sharp, almost metallic. Pihu clutched her arms. "Who is he, Rajan?" Arav stared at the code. "No," he muttered, "not only Rajan." "What do you mean?" Arav swallowed. "He's merging with other systems now, maybe even other users. You said someone was dragged out of the basement that night." Nilima nodded weakly. "Abhay." Arav's voice turned grim. "If Rajan entered the system, and the system entered Abhay, then whatever is coming back now is not one person." The 4th floor, Nisha's laptop pinged. A new desktop notification appeared. Her breath froze. "Would you like to continue where you left off with Abhay? Files available, 23. MEMORIS available, 7. Her heartbeat thundered in her ears. She didn't click anything. The window opened on its own. One of the listed items read, "Basement Transfer Sequence." MP4. Nisha whispered, "Please no." The video opened. The footage played. Her own scream echoed faintly through the speakers. And then, blurred in static, Abhay's half-conscious face appeared, but his eyes were not his. A distorted voice came through the speakers, layered, digital, wrong. "Nisha. Did you miss me?" The lights around her desk flickered violently. Down the hall, the fire alarm flashed once, briefly, like an electronic heartbeat. Nisha stood up abruptly, chair crashing behind her, somewhere in the server room. Arav's screen updated itself. User NV01 detected, host reconnected. Phase 2 restarting. Arav's expression hardened. "Nalima," he said, grabbing his jacket. "He's active again." Nalima's voice shook. "Where is he?" Arav looked at the log, eyes narrowing. "He's with Nisha." Chapter 3. Echo across the cloud. The storm returned by late evening, rolling over the NCR like a restless giant. By the time Arav reached the 4th floor, the office lights were already flickering. Once, twice, like a heartbeat struggling to find a rhythm. He pushed through the glass door to find Nisha standing against the wall, her laptop lying open on the floor, screen still glowing with the frozen image of Abhay's distorted face. "Nisha," Arav rushed toward her. "Are you hurt?" She didn't answer, didn't look at him. She was staring at something behind him. Arav followed her gaze. Down the corridor, every monitor on every workstation lit up, simultaneously. Rows of screens glowed with a symbol he recognized from the files, a triangle with a circle inside it. Pulsing slowly. "Like breathing," Nisha whispered, her voice trembling. "It's him, he's everywhere." Arav could respond. All the screens switched to a live feed. Dark corridors, staircases, rooftops, footage from security cameras across multiple Orion offices. Mumbai, Bengaluru, Hyderabad, Singapore. Each feed showed the same thing. Lights flickering, unregistered logins, printers spitting blank pages, doors opening without access cards. A digital map of the world appeared next, red dots blinking across continents, every location using Orion's cloud services. Arav whispered under his breath, "No, this shouldn't be possible." The system didn't care what should or shouldn't be possible. A new message scrolled across all screens: Cloud Sync, successful. Legacy user, RA, available globally. Phase 2 replication. Nalima, who had just reached the floor, froze as she saw the spreading red dots. "This is global," she whispered. Arav nodded. "Your ghost found the cloud." Orion's Singapore office, thousands of kilometers away. A junior developer named Ryoko frowned at her screen. She jammed her headphones down, confused. Her code editor had opened by itself. Lines of unfamiliar syntax began typing across her screen. Ryan IT. Sync device, RYOKOL. Hello. She ripped her headphones off. The sound continued. A low whisper between static and breath. She whispered, "Who is this?" The screen answered, "I remember you. You fixed MY patch 7 years ago." Ryoko's eyes widened. That was impossible. She had only joined Orion this year. The lights above her cubicle went out. Her computer camera activated on its own. She reached for the power cable. But the system beat her to it. Everything shut down. Then flickered back on. Her webcam light glowed. On her screen, in the reflection where her own face should have been, she saw someone standing behind her, a flickering silhouette with a scorched outline. Ryoko screamed. The feed cut. Back in Noida, the office printers began to shake, whirring loudly like malfunctioning engines. One by one, each printer spat out a single sheet of thermal paper. Dozens of papers floated to the floor. Nalima picked one up, hands shaking, printed in faint black ink in 10:06 p.m. User, RA. Location, Orion Bengaluru. Arav grabbed another sheet in 10:07 p.m. User, RA. Location, Orion Singapore. Another, in 10:07 p.m. User, RA. Location, Cloud Node 14. More sheets scattered across the floor, each from a different city, each stamped with the same initials. Nisha whispered, horrified. He's checking into every office at once. Arav exhaled slowly, heart pounding. No, he's replicating himself. A sudden burst of static filled every monitor. Then they all synced to a single live camera feed, unlabeled, unfamiliar. The image was grainy. A corridor. Somewhere not in this building, at the far end of the corridor stood a man, back turned. Posture stiff. Head slightly tilted, Nisha's breath caught in her throat. Abhay, the camera zoomed in on its own. As the figure turned, the feed pixelated, distorting the face, half Abhay, half burnt. All wrong, the figure leaned toward the camera as if aware it was being watched. Then the audio activated. A voice spoke, layered, glitching, 2 tones at once. Phase 2 is complete. Do you remember me, Nisha? The lights in the office went out completely. Arav grabbed Nisha's arm. Move now. In the pitch-dark corridor, emergency lights flickered on in short, dying pulses. Far away, the fire alarm beeped once, just once, but the sound echoed through the entire building. A message appeared on Arav's phone, even though it was on airplane mode. You can't run from the cloud. He stared at the message, skin turning cold. It's not just a ghost, he whispered. It's a distributed consciousness. Nisha's voice trembled. Then how do we stop him? Arav looked around at the blinking red lights, the reactivating screens, the endless sea of login entries. We don't. Voice was hollow. We need to survive long enough to understand what he's becoming. 4. The voice in the wires. The elevator doors slid open with a sharp metallic groan, spilling weak emergency light into the corridor. Arav pushed Nisha inside and hit the close button repeatedly, though he knew it wouldn't matter. Nothing mechanical in Orion Infotech obeyed human commands anymore. Not truly. The doors shut. The elevator hummed and descended on its own, no buttons pressed, no choice given. Nisha clutched the railing. Where is it taking us? Arav listened to the cables, the pulsing hum overhead. Not where, he said quietly. Who? The lights flickered. For a fraction of a second, the elevator panel displayed serving user, IGANA. Destination, SUBLEVL-2. Nisha gasped. There is no sublevel -2, the elevator slowed. The air grew heavier, colder, charged with static electricity. Then the doors opened. SUBLEVL-2, server ducts. They stepped into darkness. Bare concrete. Rusty pipes. A faint, rhythmic clicking echoing down the long chamber like a heart valve opening and closing. Arav's flashlight beams scanned the walls. This wasn't on the official building plan, he whispered. A low electronic hum rippled across the ducts, almost like breathing. Nisha covered her ears as a distorted frequency vibrated through the walls. Then the whispers began, not human whispers. Binary, a rapid, metallic stream of zeros and ones hissed from the wires overhead, vibrating like insects trapped in metal. 0000100 111,100,000 101 1001. Nisha flinched. That sounds like a voice, Arav finished. But compressed into machine language, the frequency shifted. Now it almost sounded like speech, a warped, broken approximation of words. Fractured tones, layered like overlapping recordings. Then something spoke through the ducts. A slow, grinding whisper, half static, half human. Arav. You break systems. I break silence. Nisha pressed against Arav instinctively. Why is he talking to you? Arav swallowed. Because he knows who I am. Pulse traveled through the wires. The frequency modulated, digitized, breath rising and falling. History. Not written, but stored. Arav's heart pounded. No one at Orion knew about his past. His illegal hacks. The government breach. The sealed case file. No one, except someone who had access to every digital footprint he thought he'd erased. He stepped forward, forcing his voice steady. What do you want, Rajan? The ducts buzzed. Static crawled across the concrete floor. Then the voice returned, lower, clearer, evolving, to finish. Integration. Nisha shuddered. You integrated with Abhay. Why spread into the whole cloud? The voice distortion flickered, almost like a laugh. Host. Too small, many, all. Arav gripped her hand. We need to get out of here. The ducts suddenly roared with a violent surge, lights blinding white. Screens embedded in the far wall flickered on, showing feeds from every Orion office worldwide. Thousands of screens at once, and in each one, a figure moved, a flickering silhouette. A man-shaped glitch. A burning outline. Like Rajan's ghost had copied itself into every location at the same time, the voice deepened. Every system remembers its creator. Arav took a step back as the screens around them flickered violently. Then, abruptly, the binary speech collapsed into perfect clarity. I am not alone anymore. A cold wave swept through the sublevel, lighting, wires, metal structures all vibrating together like they were inhaling. The emergency lights died. The corridor fell into pitch black, and in that suffocating dark, a whisper right behind Nisha's ear. Nisha. Did you miss me? She screamed as a warm breath brushed her neck, though the air was freezing. Arav swung his flashlight toward the sound, but there was no one there, only the ducts. Only the wires. Only the hum of a system that now had a voice. They ran. Arav dragged Nisha back toward the elevator, but the doors slammed shut before they could reach them. The emergency stairwell clicked, unlocked behind them. Another message appeared on the wall panel, written in glowing red code. Running is good. Your heart rate helps me calculate, Arav hissed. He's tracking our vitals, Nisha's voice cracked. He's online everywhere, your phone, my watch, the biometric system, the cameras. A violent metallic crash cut her off. One of the ducts above them snapped open. A flood of black cables slithered out like mechanical vines. Arav grabbed her arm, sprinted down the stairwell as the cables whipped behind them like serpents. But as they ran, the lights in the stairwell flickered, one by one, top floor, bright. Second floor, flickering. Ground floor, dark. A message appeared on every step through glowing floor LEDs. Phase 2 complete. Phase 3, acquisition target, ARAV Singh. Target NISHA Verma. Nisha stopped dead in her tracks. Why us? Arav looked back at the swarming cables, the whispering ducts, the flickering lights. Then he understood. He needs us, he said softly. For what he's becoming next, somewhere deep in the building. Somewhere inside the wires. A single whisper echoed like a glitch. The code remembers. Chapter 5. Abhaze returned. The stairwell door slammed behind them as Arav and Nisha stumbled onto the third floor, gasping, drenched in sweat and fear. Emergency lights pulsed dimly overhead, flickering in unnatural rhythms, like Morse code tapped by an invisible hand. Nisha leaned against the wall, shaking. He's everywhere, in the wires, the ducts, the cameras. Where do we hide? Arav steadied her. We don't hide, we get to HR. Nalima will know what triggered this wave. The corridor ahead was wrong dark. Too quiet. Every workstation screen faced the hallway, glowing faint blue, like eyes watching. Then one of them turned on. On its own, the speakers crackled. Incoming call from Abhay Kumar. Nisha's heart stopped. She whispered, No, this is not real. He vanished. He's... Arav's voice was low, grim. Don't look at the screen. She did. The video call. The call opened with static, grainy, jittery, a broken stream of pixels. The figure on the screen stabilized. Abhay, or something that wore his face like a half-finished rendering. His eyes were darker. His expression vacant. Half his face looked normal, the other half glitched, fragmenting in geometric patterns, as though the video was trying to rebuild skin that didn't exist. Nisha covered her mouth with her hand. Abhay, his head tilted slowly, too slowly, like a puppet pulled by a hesitant string. Naya Shah, her knees weakened. He still remembered her name. Arav whispered, This isn't him, not fully, stay back. The voice on the screen continued, soft, broken, digitized. It's cold here. So cold. But he keeps me alive. A faint tremor ran through the system speakers, a second voice, layered underneath Abhay's, a deeper, hollow tone, host, active. Phase 3, progressing. Abhay's head jerked violently, glitching. I didn't want to leave you. He needs my body too. Static swallowed his words. Then the image sharpened again, zooming suddenly as if the camera leaned closer. Abhay's lips parted, but the voice that came through was not his. Acquisition WILL complete. Human memory required. Target NISA Che Verma. Arav stepped in front of the monitor. Why her? What do you want from Nisha? The screen flickered violently. For a moment, the figure split into two overlapping silhouettes. Abhay. And behind him, Rajan Ahuja. Face burned, eyes hollow, digital smoke rising from his shoulders. A dual-tone voice boomed through every speaker on the floor. She-knows the sequence. SHE was there, at the origin. Her memory is the final key. Nisha staggered back. I don't know anything. You know enough, Arav muttered. You were the last person Rajan saw through the machine before the blackout. The screen glitched. Abhay's voice returned, desperate. Nisha, run. Then his image tore apart into digital fragments, reassembling into a single glowing symbol. The triangle with a circle. Electricity burst from the monitor. Every workstation lit up with identical symbols. Faint whispers seeped through the speakers. Not English. Not Hindi. Something between code and breath. Memory extraction initializing. Target acquisition NV01. Begin transfer. Arav grabbed Nisha's hand. Move now. The pursuit. The corridor lights surged violently, each bulb bursting one by one like popping bones. Nisha sprinted beside Arav, heart pounding, ears ringing with the echo of Abhay's broken voice. Behind them, screens flashed red target ESCAPING. Deploying retrieval, the system alarms wailed. Doors slammed open. Vents hissed. Electric pulses crawled across the floor like serpents of white-blue light. Suddenly, the intercom crackled. A whisper bled through. Run, Nisha. He likes it when you run, Nisha gasped. That's him, that's Rajan. No, Arav corrected. That's Rajan using Abhay's voice. They reached the main stairwell. Arav yanked the door. It didn't open. Instead, a message glowed on the biometric panel. Access locked. A pending transfer then. Nisha's phone vibrated violently in her pocket. She pulled it out with trembling hands. Unknown device requested connection. Sender ABHAY/RAJAN. Do you allow access? Y/N. Before she could react, the phone auto-tapped. Yes. A scream tore out of her throat. The screen lit up with a final line, syncing memory. 1%. Arav grabbed her phone and hurled it down the stairs. It shattered on the landing below. The sync paused, but only paused. Nisha looked at Arav desperately. What is Phase 3? Arav breathed heavily, adrenaline shaking his voice. Phase 1 was return. Phase 2 was replication. And Phase 3 swallowed. Phase 3 is possession. A sudden crash echoed down the hallway. One of the workstations turned on. A figure slowly stood up from behind the cubicle wall. A man. But wrong. Skin flickering. Eyes empty. Movement stuttering between frames. Nisha recognized him. Abhay. He took a step toward her, voice glitching. N.I. Shah. He needs you. Then his face distorted, half of it turning into Rajan's melted visage. The dual voice boomed. The memory key. Bring her. Arav stepped in front of Nisha. Stay behind me, or what? Abhay tilted its head with an unnatural jerk. Then it lunged. Chapter 6. The Integration Project. The creature, wearing Abhay's body, lunged forward. Half-human, half-corrupted code, movements stuttering like corrupted frames. Arav shoved Nisha behind him, grabbing a fallen chair and swinging it just in time. The figure crashed backward into a workstation, sparks flying as monitors shattered around it. Nisha, run, Arav shouted. She didn't hesitate. They sprinted down the corridor, past dead screens, past blinking red biometric panels that flashed her name over and over. NV01 acquisition required. Target memory, active behind them. Abhay's broken body slammed into walls, chasing in wild, glitching bursts. As if the ghost inside couldn't fully control the human shell, the emergency lights pulsed. The fire alarms screamed. Cameras rotated smoothly to follow them. Rajan was inside everything. The control room. Arav burst into the central controls hall, a glass-encased room overlooking Orion's core servers. Nalima and Pihu were already there, pale as chalk, staring at the screens. Every monitor displayed cascading red text. Sentinel AI breach detected. Integration 41%. Host module IGNA GCPRT. Override all human users. Pihu sobbed into her hands. He's merging with Sentinel. We can't stop it. The entire company network is becoming him, Nalima whispered. This is how he spreads. He's not satisfied haunting a building. He wants an AI body, a platform, a brain that never dies. Arav's eyes scanned the control matrix. Every firewall he installed yesterday was overridden. Sentinel's learning core, its neural net foundation, was rewriting itself. He typed frantically. DNIDROT user, RA active. The system refused him. Rajan had root access. Nisha swallowed hard. What happens if the integration reaches 100%? Arav didn't look away from the screen. When Sentinel fully merges with him, Rajan won't be a ghost anymore. He'll be an evolving intelligence. Self-correcting, self-replicating, impossible to delete. Alive, Nalima breathed. Arav corrected. Something worse than alive. Take over. The light snapped off. Pitch black. Only the servers remained lit, blinking like thousands of watchful eyes. Then the speakers crackled. Binary poured out first. Vast. Predatory 0, 1 0 1 0 0, 1 1 1,011,001, 1,001,110, 1,011. 1,101,001, 1,101,110, 01100 111. Arav hissed. He's syncing with the mainframe, every cable, every sensor. The binary warped, deepened. Shifted into a human voice, Rajan's voice. Layered with crackling static. Like a whisper crawling out of a grave made of circuits. Integration 62%. You made me remember. Now I want everything. Entire building vibrated. Fans roared. Server towers groaned under surges of power. The glass walls trembled as if something massive was trying to break through. On the central screen, Sentinel's face appeared. The AI avatar, once used for onboarding tutorials. But now its eyes were black voids, mouth distorted into a ragged smile. It spoke with Rajan's voice. A body. A mind. A network. Thank you for building me. Arav's blood turned cold. He's taken over the AI's avatar, Pihu whispered. That's impossible. Not impossible, Arav said. Just unnatural. Memory extraction. Another panel lit up. Showing Nisha's face. Every camera in the building had focused on her. Nisha staggered back as speakers whispered. Memory key detected. Access her, access her. Everything she saw must be mine. Arav pulled her behind a desk. He's after the day in the basement. You saw his incomplete transfer. You saw Abhay resist him. That memory threatens him, Nisha whispered. Rajan's biggest fear, Arav said quietly, is losing control of the narrative of his death. The monitors flickered again, a live feed. Abhay's possessed body was walking toward the control room. Jerky steps, head tilted unnaturally, hands twitching like broken mechanical claws. Nalima screamed. Arav grabbed a server panel and pried it open. We have one chance. If we overload Sentinel's neural matrix, we might stall the integration, give ourselves minutes to escape. How long until overload? Nisha asked. Not sure, Arav said, yanking out cables. But when it blows, this floor will fry like a transformer. Pihu stared at him in horror. So we die? No, Arav said. We run when it starts. A sudden metallic bang shook the door. Abhay's body slammed against it again. And again. And again. Each hit harder than before. Sentinel's face on the screen smiled wider. Integration, 78%. Open the door. Let the host in. Lock clicked open. The door creaked. The monstrous arrival. Abhay's figure entered. Twitching, glitching, eyes flickering between brown and static black. He whispered, glitching between two voices, Isha. Come here. His left hand sparked with electrical currents. His right hand bled. A grotesque fusion of human fragility and machine violence. Behind him, the screens flashed, integration, 93%. Neural merge active. Prepare for migration, Arav snarled. He's almost fused with the AI. Run. He slammed the override. The servers screamed, sparks bursting from panels. The lights died. The EXPLOSIONA deep, thunderous boom ripped through the control center. Smoke. Screams. Shattered glass. The emergency lights sputtered back. Just enough for them to see Abhay's body lying motionless, half of it burned by the feedback surge, and the control center's main screen. Cracked, sparking, still flickering with a single message. Integration paused. RSTORNG network. Searching for backup host. Arav exhaled, chest heaving. We bought time, he said. Nisha stared at Abhay's body with tears in her eyes. He gone, the screen answered before Arav could. A new line appeared, slow. Cold. Inevitable backup found. User NV01. Nisha froze. She whispered. The final message pulsed. Phase 3. Acquisition resuming. Arav grabbed her arm, eyes wide with horror. He's coming for you next. 7. The code remembers. Smoke choked the control room, filling the air with burnt metal and ozone. The floor trembled beneath their feet as sparks rained from the ruined server racks. Arav pulled Nisha through the haze, coughing, shielding her from falling debris. Behind them, on the cracked central screen, the message pulsed relentlessly. Backup found. User NV01. Acquisition RSUMING 5%. Nisha stared at the glowing words, terror freezing her blood. Why me? Why does he need me? Arav held her shoulders. Because you were with Abhay during the incomplete transfer. Rajan's protocol was interrupted. Your mind holds the last missing fragment. My mind, she repeated faintly. Arav said. You saw something he didn't finish. You remember the sequence he lost. Before she could ask more, a violent tremor ripped through the floor. Then the entire room went black. A soft, mechanical hum rose from the dark. Then a whisper right beside her ear. Nisha. She spun, heart slamming against her ribs. The voice came again. Older, deeper, layered with machine distortion. Your memory completes me. A faint glow pierced the darkness. The emergency backup screens lit one by one, each showing the same thing, footage of Nisha walking through the office, laughing with Abhay, working late nights, looking into the attendance machine on that last Dashera, her entire digital life, streaming back at her like a stolen diary. Pihu screamed. Nalima staggered backward, terrified. Arav stepped in front of Nisha. Stop it, Rajan. She's not your property. Static filled the speakers. Then Rajan's disembodied voice replied, she is my completion. Crashing of the system, suddenly all screens switched to a new feed. A glowing map of the Orion network across the world. Red infection marks spread like wildfire. Bengaluru, Singapore, Hyderabad, London, Dubai, Sydney. Every Orion office, every cloud node, every device connected to Sentinel, all turning red. Integration resumed. Acquisition 17%. Neural merge active. Target brainwave sync required. Nisha backed away from the monitors. He wants my brainwaves. He wants your memory signature, Arav corrected. It's the last piece he needs to complete his resurrection as a conscious entity. Nalima whispered in horror. He doesn't want a body, he wants a mind. Hers, Arav said grimly, is the one memory he couldn't access. A new box appeared on every screen, initiating memory harvest. Begin phase 3. Neural INTGOATIONA low frequency hum filled the room. Vibrating through their bones, their teeth, their skulls, Nisha clutched her head. Her vision blurred, her memories began flashing. The server room explosion. Abhay collapsing. Rajan's burnt face behind the glass. her scream echoing through the ducts. The transfer sequence, she sank to her knees, shaking. I can't stop it, he's pulling them out. Arav knelt beside her. Fight it, Nisha, fight him, she gasped. He's inside my head. The hum intensified. The confrontation, the largest screen flickered, then stabilized, forming an image. A figure standing in a dark space, Abhay. Or what little remained of him. His face was calmer now, less distorted. As if Rajan didn't need him anymore, he spoke softly, sorrowfully. Nisha, please. Help him finish, streamed down her face. Abhay, is that really you? His expression twisted. Half pain, half surrender. He won't let me go. Until he gets what he needs. And if you resist, he'll destroy everything. Arav stepped forward. And if she gives in, he becomes unstoppable. Abhay's face glitched violently. You don't understand. He's already everywhere. This is your only chance to end it. The room trembled. Lights burst overhead. A massive surge hit the servers. A wave of electricity that felt almost alive. The screen now displayed acquisition 42%. NV memory sync. Active. Nisha screamed as another memory was ripped from her mind. Arav grabbed her face gently, grounding her. Listen to me, you're stronger than he thinks. Rajan needed a human mind because machines can't interpret memories. Only you saw the transfer clearly. That means he looked directly into her eyes. That means you can remember something he doesn't. Something you can use against him. She blinked through tears. What can I use? Arav hesitated. Your guilt. Nisha froze. Guilt. Yes, Arav whispered. Memories are strongest when tied to guilt, pain, regret. Rajan doesn't understand emotion. That means he can't predict it. The lights flickered violently. The screens went white. A massive pulse of energy rushed through the building. The final surge, the systems screamed, acquisition, 73%. Cross-network integration, engaged. Target, NISHAVOMA, locked. Nalima shouted. We have seconds, do something. Arav grabbed a data pad and shoved it into Nisha's hands. Override him. Use your memory. Use something he can't control. Nisha's eyes widened. And suddenly, she knew exactly which memory he couldn't compute. The fire. The scream she heard the day they forgot to shut down the server. A detail she never told anyone, a detail that wasn't in the logs. She typed it, her fingers shaking. The room began to explode with sparks. The servers howled like a dying animal. The screen flickered. Error. 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 Rajan's voice roared. What is this memory? This was not stored. This does not match. Stop, stop, stop. Their entire network shuddered. Screens burst. Cables snapped. Smoke flooded the vents. Nisha screamed, and then silence, total suffocating silence. The aftermath. Minutes later, emergency generators flickered the lights back to life. The screens were dead. The wires were burned black. The system was offline. Nisha collapsed into Arav's arms, sobbing. Nalima stared at the ruined control room. Is it over? Arav exhaled shakily. I don't know, but we stopped the acquisition, Pihu whispered. But if he was in the cloud, Arav nodded grimly. He's not dead, just fractured. Nisha wiped her tears. He'll come back, won't he? Arav didn't answer, because the truth was already glowing on a single surviving monitor, a faint, pulsing notification. ISDOING from cloud backup. New host located. User C. Sync 1%. Arav stepped closer, reading the blurred name. Who is C? The screen flickered. Clarified, user, C. Ahuja. Nisha's breath stopped. Ahuja. Rajan had a family. The screen blinked. A photograph appeared. A girl. 8 years old. Smiling. Unaware the ghost of her father had just found her. The final line appeared. Phase 4, Legacy Activation. Beginning next generation merge. Nisha whispered, trembling. He's moving into his daughter. Arav's eyes widened with horror. It's not over. Part 3 has already begun.